Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are safe out there. Please be safe. And today's lesson, what we're going to learn today, we're going to look into how to use a negative exponent and also multiply, divide powers using negative exponents. So today's topic, we are going to learn how to use negative exponents and multiply and divide powers using negative exponents. So this is today's topic. So please pay attention so that way you can answer your questions out there. Now let's look into what is a zero and the negative exponents means. So the zero exponent is like for any base you take to the exponent of zero, it's always 1. No matter what number or what base you have to the exponent of 0, it's always 1. Remember this? It's a rule and fact. Let's say if I write it 2000 to the power 0, it still is going to be 1. It doesn't matter what number you have, it still is going to be a 0. A to the 0 is still 1. Okay. Now look into the negative exponents. Negative exponents are basically, let's say if I have 5 to the negative 2. So when I have a negative exponent, to make it positive, I bring this whole exponent to the denominator. So it's going to be 1 over 5 to the positive exponent. So always remember, whenever you convert a negative exponent to positive exponent, you have to bring it down or flip it. Then it's going to be 1 over 5 to the second means 5 times 5. Or you can write it 1 over 5 to the second exponent, or it's just basically 25. Let's look into another example. Let's say if I write it 2 to the negative third exponent, so I can write it 1 over 2 to the positive exponent. So it's going to be 1 over 2 times 2 times 2, which is going to be 1 over positive 8. Now let's try some practice questions so that way you get a really good idea on this one. So 6 to the negative third exponent, so I can write it 1 over 6 to the positive third exponent. So that's how we make it positive exponent, because in the question they're asking for a positive exponent. So that's what I made it as a positive exponent. So but 1 over 6 cubed means 6 times 6 times 6, which is going to be 1 over 6 times 6 is 36, times 6 is 216. Now let's look into another example using a variable. So then we have to do is a to the negative 5 or a to the negative fifth exponent. I can write it 1 over a to the positive fifth exponent. So or you can expand this one, or you can just leave it like that. It's still the same. A, you're going to write it 5 times. It's the same as 1 over a to the fifth exponent. That's what we got. Now let's look into another example. In this case, they're asking to write a negative exponent. So when you write a negative exponent, since you see 1 over 5 to the positive exponent, which I need to make a negative exponent, so I'm going to bring the denominator to the numerator, so which just becomes 5 to the negative 2 over 1, or I can write it 5 to the negative 2. So this is a negative exponent. Let's try one more question on the negative exponents. So here we don't see any exponents. I see 1 over 36. So first I need to get an exponent, then I can write a negative exponent. So 1 over 36 I can write 1 over 6 times 6. So this is nothing but 1 over 6 to the second exponent. But the question is asking to write a negative exponent. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this denominator to the numerator, or I can just say flip. So it's going to be 6 to the negative 2 over 1, or I can write it 6 to the negative second exponent. So this is answering in terms of the negative exponent. Alright, this time let's do some word problems so that way you have a really good idea how to do these questions up here. So let's look into this question right here. A human hair is about 0.001 inch in diameter. So write a decimal into powers of 10. So first of all, when you do this question, the number is 0.001. So this number we can write as 1 over, for the decimal, I write 1, and then after the decimal 1, 2, 3 places, so I'm going to write 1, 2, 3 zeros. So that means 0.001 you can write as 1 over 1000. And also 1000 I can write 10 times 10 times 10, which is I can write as 1 over 10 to the third exponent. But this is a positive, and so we can leave it like this, or if they're asking into negative, so they're going to write it 10 to the negative third exponent. So one more thing, guys, I want you to guys watch all the video up to the end, and also comment and subscribe. That way you can get complete knowledge of the concept, and then you can do your homework well. So you can say the human hair is 10 to the negative third inch thick. Alright, let's practice some of the questions, the combination of positive exponents and negative exponents. So this time we're going to use the previous knowledge of the first, second lessons you learned. So we have the same base here, so we're going to keep the base, which is 5 as the base, and then add the exponents, this, and then this, add them. So it's going to be 3 plus negative 5. So it's nothing but 5 to the 3, positive times negative is negative, and then 5. So it's going to get 5 to the negative second exponent. Or if you want to make a positive exponent, it's going to be 1 over, because I can write this one as over 1, 1 over positive to the second exponent, which is nothing but. So 1 over 5 squared we can say is like 1 over 5 times 5, or is nothing but 1 over 25. So that's your final answer. Now we have simplified the expression w to the negative 1 and then over w to the negative 4. So on the second lesson we learned when you divide the exponents, we have to subtract the exponents. So we're going to keep the base as w, and the exponents are negative 1 minus, we have negative 4. So remember again, this is quotient of powers. That's the rule we are applying here. When I divide the exponents, I need to subtract these exponents up there. Subtract. So that's the reason I use this subtract sign here. Subtract sign there. So let's do the math. Now w to the negative 1, and then negative times negative becomes positive 4. So that is nothing but w to the third exponent. So this concludes this lesson. Please complete your homework and also subscribe, so that way anytime I post a new videos out there, so you will get a notification. And also watch complete video, so that way you get a really good information about the lesson, and you can complete your homework and submit it online. And that's all. And be safe out there.